Vaiguruji. So today we are at our third session talking about the events that led to Vaisakhi and like to put everything in perspective. Put everything in perspective. Vaisakhi is not just what happened in 1699 on 13 April. It is actually a series of events, almost stretching 100 years. And as I've already mentioned, let us review. Let us review. During the time of Guru Gobind Singh, Emperor was Aurangzeb. Who was Aurangzeb's father? Shah Jahan, another problematic troublemaker for the Sikhs. Who was Shah Jahan's father? Jahangir, the emperor we are talking about now. So this problem with the Delhi Sultanate, the emperors started immediately after Emperor Akbar. Jahangir's father was Akbar. Akbar was a beautiful emperor and he was loved by the people of India. And you know the story, Akbar, when he came to meet Guru Amar Das ji and all that. I've already related a little bit. You can do your own research, that most of you know anyway, how he appreciated our Guru and how repeatedly he came forward to assist our dharma. But the mullahs and the qazis were not happy with what Akbar was doing. The problem is always the clergy. They were not happy. The minute Akbar died, they stepped in to poison the next emperor, Jahangir. So Jahangir then goes on to Shah Jahan, then goes on to Aurangzeb, and then goes on to Vaisakhi, where Guru said, it is time we put an end to this. This is not going to end. It is not going to end otherwise. We have to formalize everything. And that's when he created a Kalpurki Fauj. So there's the sequence of events. Now I'm going to go back to the events that as we have been discussing. I'm going to recite from the book from here because it's all in order and it's a lot of detail. So if I try to speak off the cuff, it may consume too much time unnecessarily. I'm going to go back here. In the last session, I already told you the emperor got up and walked out. He gave up. He got up and he walked out. The magistrate who was in attendance then informed Guruji, and he said, two options. You pay the 200,000 fine. You change your holy scripture, or you are a dead man. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji replied, I am quite happy with the third option. I don't have any problem with the third option. You can forget about the other two. Not going to happen. So this is where matters come to a head. Guruji is put in chains on his arms, on his hands. He's chained and he's taken away to prison. He's locked away. For 2 days, Chandu, mullahs, qazis, anybody who had a vested interest, they were at his cell trying to talk him, get him to change his mind. No deal. It wasn't going to happen. So, he was very clear in his stand. He said, men of religion do not pay fines. We are not criminals. So anyway, eventually everyone gives up and now the tortures start. So you've all heard about the tortures. They poured hot sand on Guru Maharaj Ji. They put him on Tatiya Taviya. They put him in boiling cauldron of boiling water for 3 hours. And this went on for 3 days. Guruji was in prison for a few days. The torture was for 3 days. This went on. And what happens as a result? The news gets out that Guru Arjan Dev Ji is being tortured. This news reaches the Peer of Lahore, Mian Mir. Of course, there were many others as well, some yogis, some Mahatmas, some important, very important religious who were devastated when they heard what was going on, and they came forth to try to assist. And one of the main persons who came forward was Mian Mir. Mian Mir, when he came and saw Guru Maharaj's condition, he just stood and wept openly in front of Guru Maharaj. As the Peer of Lahore, he could get into the prison, he could ask for anything to be opened, all the gates to be opened. So he walked and he went to meet Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And when he saw his condition, he just wept. Then when he managed to get himself together, he told Guruji, now this conversation is very important, please listen to it, it's very, very important. When Mian Mir, he found the Guru's body all blistered and ruptures everywhere, injuries, he requested permission from Guru Arjan Dev Ji, give me permission, I want to appeal to the emperor. Give me that permission to appeal to the emperor so that all this can be stopped. And Guru Maharaj's answer is this: Mian Mir, upar dekh. Guruji requested him to look skyward, although they were in a prison. And Guru Maharaj blessed Mian Mir with Dip Drishti. Those of you who know what is Dip Drishti, divine sight. It is not the sight with these eyes, it is divine sight. Guru Maharaj for that moment blessed him with Dip Drishti and said, Mian Mir, upar dekh. And when Mian Mir turned his eyes skyward, he saw thousands of Devis, Devate, angels, all standing there with palms together, waiting for the permission from Guru Arjan Dev Ji to punish Jahangir, to finish Jahangir. When Mian Mir saw the angels begging the Guru's permission to destroy the wicked, the proud and the perverse, Mian Mir, on beholding this supernatural vision, asked the Guru, why? Why? If you have this much power, then why are you not acting? Why? Asked the Guru, when you possess such superhuman power, supernatural power, why are you consenting to endure this suffering at the hands of such vile sinners? The Guru replied, now hear this very carefully. The Guru replied, I bear all this torture to set an example. To set an example to the teachers of God's name. To the teachers of God's name, that they may not lose patience or rail at God. You know, rail at God is an English term. Rail means to curse, to be angry at God, to rail at God at times of affliction. You know, that's our tendency whenever we are surrounded by challenge. You know, we may say some unpleasant things about God. Why are you doing this to me, Rabba? Even Jesus is guilty of that. Ali, Ali, lama sabachthani. That's what he said on the cross. Lord, why have you forsaken me? So this is the tendency of the human being, the human mind, and Guru Maharaj clearly explains, I bear all this torture to set an example to the teachers of God's name, that they may not lose patience or rail at God in times of affliction. The true test of faith is in the hour of misery. Without example to guide my Sikhs, at the time of suffering, Guru Maharaj Ji said, I have to be the example. So this is how he answers. He says, I have to be strong for my Sikhs, because when they are challenged, they must know their ground and they must keep their faith. So for that reason, Guru Maharaj Ji explains to Mian Mir. Then Mian Mir left. There was nothing more for anyone to do. After that, tortures continued. Now they put Guru Maharaj Ji for 3 hours in a boiling cauldron again, and so on. The story goes like this. Now there is a slight switch to this story here. There is one new character I'm going to introduce at this point, which I can guarantee that all of us, including myself, would have never heard of this part of the Sakhi. It is Chandu's daughter-in-law, not daughter-in-law. She is married to Chandu's son. She was the daughter of a devout Sikh, just like Chandu's wife. Chandu's wife was a very devout Sikh, and that is the reason why she gave that advice to Chandu that this marriage is good for our family, and that is why she wanted this family. Can you imagine that your daughter is getting married to the Guru's son? What could on this earth could be a grander blessing than that? And this family, and this is the daughter-in-law. I'm going to read this part. A daughter-in-law of Chandu, she was the daughter of a pious Sikh. She heard about the Guru's torture. Obviously, they were in Lahore. Obviously, Chandu had taken his family with him, traveling to Lahore, expecting to be there for a while. Now, don't forget, Chandu is the finance minister, the Artha Mantri of Jahangir's empire. Okay? Chandu's daughter-in-law was a daughter of a pious Sikh. She heard about the Guru's torture and she considered what she could do. Whom her entire family had revered. Okay. And she said to herself, the Guru has eaten nothing for days. He has drunk nothing for days. Not even slept for days. Accursed is my life. मैं रोज खानी पीनी है, मैं रोज आराम नाल सोनी है. मेरा गुरु, उस दी की दशा है उस बंदी खाने दे विच. उस नूं ना कोई खाना, ना भोजन, ना पानी, ना नींद. So she is lamenting about this. She is feeling this in her heart. And what does she do? She prepared some sharbat. Sharbat is like a cordial, it's an Indian style drink. She prepared some sharbat and something to eat for Guru Maharaj Ji. And in the dead of the night, when everyone else will be asleep, she takes it secretly to the Guru's prison. She is stopped by the sentry when trying to enter. She pulled out a piece of very expensive jewelry and gave it to him. Now, she is the daughter of none other than the finance minister of India. You can imagine how much wealth there would be in that family. You can imagine how she would have planned what she was going to do. She would have taken such an expensive piece of jewelry set of hers that even the sentry will not deny her access. She gave it to the sentry. He lets her go in and says, Jaldi, 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 jaldi. Go quickly, come back quickly. Now she comes up to Guru Maharaj Ji and introduces herself. Recognize in me the daughter of a Sikh. Recognize in me, I am the daughter of your Sikh. But I am also the wife of Chandu's son. I am the daughter-in-law of Chandu. That Papi Chandu, she uses the word. I should never have been married into this family. It is my tragedy. I am cursed to have been married into this. I must have committed great sins in my past life. So she talks, she's pouring out to Guru Maharaji. Hence, I desire to live no longer. After seeing you in this condition, Hey Prabhu, I have no further desire to live anymore. Since I have no control over what you are going through, I have no desire to live anymore. Take this sharbat. Please take some food. And please give me your blessing. The Guru replied, Tan hai tum. Hail to thee who has so much devotion. Guru प्यारियो, साडे विच इतना डिवोशन है साडे गुरु वास्ते. It's a time to ask these questions. That is what Katha is all about. This is Katha. This is Suraj Prakash Katha written in English by Macauliffe. Word for word it has been taken from there. Now, this is the whole idea. That is why Katha is so important. None of what I have been saying to you over all these recordings you will hear in Gurdwaras, probably almost only a fraction of it. But this Katha is, the importance of this Katha is to ask ourselves these questions. If we have been in similar situation, as a matter of fact, I forgot to tell you something else that happened prior to this. Another story within a story. When the Sikhs of Lahore found out that for 200,000 rupees we can secure the release of Guru Arjan, immediately they started going house to house to make a collection to raise the 200,000 to pay for the Guru's release. And this news reached the Guru. And what was Guru Maharaj's response? Immediately he sent an instruction back. Stop what you are doing. Stop what you are doing. If anybody, no matter how wealthy, attempts to use money to pay this fine, you are not a Sikh of mine. Tu mera Sikh nahi hai. This is not a question of money. This is a question of dharma. This is a question of faith. This is a question of such and suchyar. We don't do deals with tyrants. जेड़ा उगराई करेगा, जेड़ा कोई एक दमड़ी भी देवेगा, मेरा सिख नहीं है. That was Guru's response to the Sikhs of Lahore. They were trying to collect, they scramble and raise 200,000 rupees to pay the fine, to negotiate with the tyrant. So that is Sikhi. They were doing what Sikhs would do. And Guru was doing what a Guru must do. You see, a Guru cannot compromise. We compromise. Guru does not compromise. That is why we revere our Guru. For his greatness, for his sacrifice, knowing full well the price that is going to have to be paid. Anyway, coming back to this young lady, the daughter-in-law of Chandu, Guru Maharaji gives her his blessing and he tells her something. He says, you have not many days to live. You have not many days to live. Thou hast now but few days to live. For if that is your desire, you shall accompany me to Dargah. You shall accompany me to Sachkhand. For this seva that you have done, your wish is granted. Your wish is granted. The name of Chandu's daughter-in-law is not given here. His daughter's name was Sadhan Kaur, but the daughter-in-law's name not given here, so I cannot relate to you. But the Guru Maharaj said, you have but few days to live. And he says, you have brought this food and drink. You know, I cannot take this food and drink because it came from Chandu's house. At the end of the day, is Chandu's house that you are coming from, and this meal has been prepared there. As a matter of principle, I cannot have this food, but you have all my blessings as if I had consumed this food. For 5 days they kept Guru Maharaj Ji in there, and the tortures went on. Chandu was thinking that he is getting luckier and luckier because he thought the Guru was becoming more and more desperate. Then on the 5th day of the tortures, Guru Maharaj Ji asked Chandu, my body is broken. My body is broken. My body is covered with wounds, ruptured, blistered. May I request, because the river Ravi was just behind. Today if you go, you will see Ravi has shifted. In the plains, rivers move around. They can move few kilometers away from its original location 300-400 years ago. So today the river has moved, but those days it was right past where the prison was, where the fort is. He said, I just would like to cool my body in the waters of the Ravi river. Chandu saw this as another opportunity. He thought the Guru was softening up. He thought that if I grant him this, he will become even softer. Then he will start to see the point I am trying to make, and he may consent to the marriage. So trying to be Mr. Goody Goody, he says, no problem. I can arrange that for you. You can go and have an Ishnan in the Ravi. Calls his soldiers aside, away from Guru Arjan Dev Ji, gives them strict instructions. You are not to talk to him. He is not to talk to you. You are to take him straight to the river. After his Ishnan, when he comes out to dry his body, every single instruction is given. Even when he comes out to dry his body, you are not to talk to him or engage in any conversation. Neither can he talk to any bypass anybody, nobody. And he is allowed to go. When arriving there, Guru covered himself, Guru Maharaj Ji covered himself with a sheet, long kapda leke apne shir, because it was not possible to put on clothes. Body was, you can imagine the condition of the physical body at that time. So Guru couldn't clothe himself with this type of clothing. He just put a big white sheet over himself. And he was so badly blistered over all he could not even walk straight. At the bottom of his feet, the sole of his feet were all swollen and blistered and ruptured. Every step was a severe pain. To such an extent, Guru Maharaj Ji had to ask Pai Pirana to walk next to him so he could lean on Pai Pirana. All the 5-6 accompanied. They went, so Pai Pirana was there, they supported him, took Guru Maharaj Ji to the river bank. Guru Maharaj Ji went into the water. First he washed his hands, his feet, went into the water and cooled himself in the water, and he started to recite the Japji Sahib. When the Sikhs saw that, they all also went into the water. They also started to recite the Japji Sahib with Guru Maharaj Ji. Now, on the way there, a lot of people had seen Guru Maharaj Ji's condition, and you can imagine their condition when he saw Guru Maharaj Ji. They described, is written here, the description, what was condition of Guru Maharaj Ji, but his mind appeared collected and fixed on divine meditation. As in his earlier happier days, his devotion was like a mountain. The man was like a mountain. His body was shattered. Body had been broken. not his spirit. Okay? His devotion, like a mountain, could not be moved and was in no way affected by his bodily pain. Now they are all in the water. Japji Sahib is, Guru Maharaj Ji calls them to come closer. He is going to give them his final instruction. His final instruction. I have succeeded in effecting the object of my life. I have completed the purpose and function of my life, which is where I am here today. Go to my son. After me, after I am gone, go to my son, the holy Har Gobind, and give him my consolation. मेरे वालों हौसला देना उसनों, डॉलर नहीं देना. Don't forget, Har Gobind is 11 years old at this time. Har Gobind is an 11-year-old. We have to call him a child. 11-year-olds were very, very capable. Maharaja Ranjit Singh won his first battle when he was 14 years old. Those days, kids were not like what kids we have today. They were very capable, but still he was 11 years old. Go and give him my consolation. He is not to mourn, no vairag. Okay? He is not to mourn or indulge in any lamentation. Sing God's praises. अकाल दी उस्तत करनी है, रोना नहीं है. And let him restrain from grief all the other members of my family. आप भी हौसला रखना ते दूसरिਆਂ ਦਾ हौसला भी बनाई रखना. Now comes the important part which is connected to Vaisakhi, the part which I've been trying to bring all of us. Let him sit fully armed on his throne. Now the word throne has appeared. Throne is for kings. Let him sit fully armed on his throne and maintain an army. So there you are. Maintain an army. Let him fix the patch of guruship, Kalgi. Let him put on a Kalgi. Because now he has to be a king. Not just a guru, but also a king. So Guru Har Gobind now became the first Sant Sipahi. Sant Sipahi is Guru Har Gobind. Starts from there. So here we are. Let him put on the Kalgi according to it. And then he gives immediate instructions to the 5 of them and says, no cremation for me. You are not to cremate me. Okay, sorry, before that, one more line I need to read. Cremate not my body, but let it flow. Let it flow on the bosom of this river. मैं जान लगा है, मेरी इस देह नू रोकना नहीं है. शिष्कार नहीं होवेगा मेरा, जल प्रवाह होवेगा, जल प्रवाह. So this is something else that we don't understand so well. We always talk about Shishkar. In Sikh faith, it can be any. It can be Shishkar, it can be Jal Prava, or any other means, as long as it is done without creating any monuments on the spot, any Madiya, Masaniya, those type of things. So anyway, here Guru Maharaj has given this instruction, there will be no Shishkar, but just allow me. It's time for me to go. I am leaving and let me go. So that's what happened in the river Ravi. I will conclude today's session. When Chandu's daughter-in-law heard of the Guru's death, she too abandoned her body. ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਖਬਰ ਲਾਹੌਰ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚੀ, ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਤੱਕ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ, ਉਸਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਰੀਰ ਤਿਆਗ ਦਿੱਤਾ. She emerged into the light. As Guru Arjan Dev Ji had promised her, he said, I will bless you and I will take you with me. तेरी शरदा, तेरा प्यार, तू मेरे नाल जाएंगी. Those are the words which Guru Maharaj Ji had blessed her with for what she had done. A woman, एक औरत होके, she found a way to the prison and brought langar for Guru Maharaj Ji there. Without any consideration for her personal safety or the outcome of her action. And Guru Maharaj Ji blessed, she herself said, I do not want to live anymore. मैं और जीना नहीं चाहती. Guru Maharaj Ji said, if that's your wish, I shall grant it. You shall come with me. And that's how she left her body. Few hours later, her family will find her body and they will perform the rites for her. So this is where today's session ends. Let's wait for tomorrow and see what is going to transpire after this. Thank you very much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.